Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now on with the show.
Welcome to World's Finest, the DC Comics Review. I am Phil, your Batman.
And I am Tyler, your Superman.
Both in the same room for the first time.
What? Oh, man. Is it crazy? I am honored to be here in the bunker of truth and justice here at Phil's Palace of Parish.
Our
sweet listeners.
Alright, let's dive in.
Let's start with the books that you read that were not Convergence related.
Well, just one.
What? You mean all DC can do is Convergence?
Yeah, the only thing that wasn't Convergence this week, Arrow Season 2.5, number 7, picks up where number 5 left off, because last month was the Suicide Squad issue, but the new Brother Blood and his people kidnap Felicity, and Brother Blood tells Oliver, I'll let her go if you come and surrender yourself, and Oliver does that, and of course Blood's like, boy, are you stupid, you thought I was going to let you both go, but little does he know that Oliver told Roy to go get help, and with no Suicide Squad available, the last page we see Roy gets the Huntress out of prison.
You know, that's really sweet. I guess they were supposed to bring Huntress back for the 3rd season of the show, and I'd really hoped that we would have seen her in the recent episode with the Suicide Squad, more so than just Cupid and Deadshot, but I guess she's going to be back in season 4.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think, like I said this before, I think before they're doing the spin-off series now, but I thought before that, a new Birds of Prey series with Huntress, Canary, Sin would have been a kind of a cool show.
No, if they bring Sarah back, maybe.
Well, they're bringing her back for the untitled spin-off. So far, we're gonna have Sarah, the Atom.
Yep. Captain Cold,
and Hot Girl. Let's see who makes it else over there. They should take place in Bloodhaven, just saying.
But yeah, big thumbs up.
All right,
everything else is Convergence. Let's jump in.
Now, just so you know, if you're just listening to this, Convergence is the DC comic event that takes place where all the different timelines in certain cities from timelines that no longer exist, and they're going to see who makes it to the end. They're going to converge and become one. Sounds like a crisis, but it's not. It's a convergence.
I think they've been doing every week. Every week's like a different decade. Like I think they keep going backwards. Like this first week, I think is the timeline's right before Flashpoint.
Yeah. Well, might as well jump into Convergence 1. I know that's one you read and I read, so let's discuss it.
All right, what do you think?
I thought about for a moment, all these cities have been existing for all this time, self-contained. They weren't aware that they were in anything other than just
a dome.
And I started thinking Stephen King, Under the Dome. It was interesting how if you look at the first page of the book, that kind of gave you the cities that were going to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of setup. I felt like this one was a lot of setup. I thought it was cool that it started showing like the Injustice world, and I really like that game. I really like that series, and then it jumps to Earth 2 right now, and I'd like to read some more Earth 2 since they brought back Batman and they brought back a version of Superman, which I think is interesting. I don't know a lot about Val-Zod, but I do think it's weird that he's supposed to be a Zod, but not related to General Zod.
Yeah.
That is weird. Somebody dropped the ball on that one.
Well, that's a different Batman, too.
Yeah, it's Thomas.
It's his father.
Yeah. So that's a completely different idea, because technically Earth 2 was supposed to be all the alternate heroes, Alan Scott, Jay Garrick, and there really wasn't an alternate Batman or Superman for that time. But I gave the book 3.5, and the art gave it 4.5.
So the grand total.
Yeah, I think that's when reading a book, I want to love the art. It's so hard to read some when the art kind of pulls you out of it. What about you, Phil? What you got?
I'll give this one, say, 4.
Okay. What were your thoughts on it?
I liked it. Oh, do you see we get Earth 2 Dick Grayson also?
Yeah, where he was a writer,
Mm-hmm.
which was interesting, but sad at the same time. Because I was like, yeah, Dick Grayson, who does not?
Yeah. And then once again, we get more Earths in the back.
Still the Earths that we don't know what they are. Now, I listened to an interesting interview with Jeff King talk about how Telos, however his name is pronounced, is kind of, in a sense, like the Silver Surfer to Brainiac's Galactus. And I was like, that's an interesting concept.
Oh, I can't wait for you to see this. You ever read this?
Which one is that?
Batman and Darkest Night.
No, I didn't.
Right before Bruce Wayne trying to figure out who he wants to be, like Batman, he gets, instead of Hal Jordan, he gets the power ring.
Oh. Well.
But I haven't seen it in the story yet, but it's in there in the back.
Well, why don't Batman just be everybody? Because, like I told you before, he could easily recreate Barry Allen's explosion and get super speed, and then he could just take Hal Jordan's ring.
Yeah, it was good, but it was kind of weird because then Joe Chill kind of gets bonded with Sinestro, and it's all there.
I want to see the Gotham by Gaslight when that shows up at its world.
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool. So what's up next, Pat?
Let's say Convergence Justice League #1. This is the Justice League, the last Justice League before Flashpoint. We got Supergirl, Donna Troy, Zatanna, Jade, Vixen. What's that gorilla dude's name?
Is it Garage?
No, it's
Is it Ultra Knight?
No, he's a good guy. Yeah, his name was Bill, but I forget.
Too bad it wasn't Beast Boy.
Yeah, and then they have to end up fighting Flashpoint Aquaman.
I didn't like Flashpoint Aquaman.
And let me just say, in this issue, since you're the Supergirl expert, she dresses kind of like a slut in this.
Wow. And she's wearing Aquamanian colors.
Yeah. Let's see. There she is. Oh, yeah, Jesse Quick's in it, too.
So it's a Justice League without the Justice that we know. But yeah, Supergirl, put some clothes on.
Did you find it weird, though, every dome, no matter what the story was, every city under the dome was Gotham?
Yeah, it's in my notes for when we get some of the other books. I found it really interesting. It always seemed like everything was Gotham. I also found it interesting. Well, I just like how in every one, you got to hear Telos' speech.
Yeah, or at least part of it.
So it kind of gave you a pinpoint to make a timeline of where this is going on. But
I do like in the back how they give you a little bit of a
history of each character and what the events might really represent. But looking at this book here, the artwork is good except for Supergirl trying to be all super slut. Put some clothes on.
But yeah, that was the last Justice League before Flashpoint. It's interesting because it was Dick Grayson when he was Batman was leading it, but most of the team was women because instead of Wonder Woman he had Donna Troy, instead of Superman he had Supergirl.
Yeah,
instead of Green Lantern he had Jade, instead of Flash he had Jesse Quick.
It's very it should almost be Justice League Girl Power.
That's
a horrible name for it, but I just mean Justice League of
yeah, I forget. There was one or two other guys thrown in, but yeah, it was mostly Dick Grayson.
That'd be a cool book. I'm just throwing that out there right now, DC.
Yeah.
All-female power Justice League with one dude. It's just I'm looking at an awesome poster. We got here Grant Morrison's Justice League, and I look at it, and who's up there? Just Wonder Woman with a bunch of dudes.
But yeah, I'll give that one a 4. I feel like I repeat myself.
Hey, the books for Convergence are good. Some of them are interesting, but we have a lot to talk about.
I like the Convergence books a lot more than the New 52. Sorry, DC.
Hey, you know what? People will hate on the New 52. I'll defend it because I wanted to get back into reading comics more. I had read and followed along with Blackest Night, Final Crisis. Then I was in a place where there was no shop around, and it was hard to kind of find a good jumping in point. But when Flashpoint came out, I got to read it and then kind of jump in with the New 52 and really start to follow the storylines. So it made a nice point to jump in. I mean, the New 52 had a lot going for it that I enjoyed, And I hope that some of the things that were positive will carry over into whatever this post-Convergence is.
Alright, well, next we have Convergence Titans. All these are number ones. Convergence Titans, number one.
And most of them are, what, 1 of 2?
Yeah, because everything in this month will be number one, and then number twos will be next month.
I'm going to throw this out here to all the fans listening. I feel like I should close my eyes while talking with Phil, because it's like, I'm so used to just like staring at the wall and talking to him.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't want to look up. It's like...
Now I look at him like, there he is. Like, wow, we're in the same room.
Just feels weird. I'm like, I'd usually just be looking at the book or something. But yeah, Convergence Titans number one. It's Roy Harper, Donna Troy again. Another version of Donna Troy.
Interesting, like,
and Starfire.
Having just finished the run of Wonder Woman, where it ends, where Donna Troy, which is interesting in the way they did her in the New 52, fighting Wonder Woman. It's so, I don't know, it's really interesting to flip back and see what she was before that, when she was more Wonder Girl. Or what was the other? It was Wonder Girl, then they gave her another name, didn't they?
Troya or something.
Something when she went to the whole black starry. I think there's some Roy Harper.
But yeah,
as Red Arrow Arsenal.
I guess when they were put under their dome, he got some kind of grant from the Wayne Foundation or something, and he built himself almost like a bat cave or an arrow cave.
Quiver.
Something like that, yeah. So I guess he was kind of like the Batman under that dome.
I can see it.
But then some villain comes along and tells him he can bring back his dead daughter. He just has to take out Donna Troy and Starfire. That's why he looked like his mechanical arm was shooting in two directions at the end.
Tough spot to be.
Uh-huh.
All right, Roy. What are you going to do?
I just thought, well, every one of these is under, like a Gotham, and there's not like a Batman in every single one.
Yeah. It is weird. Now, that would have been kind of neat if in Convergence he picked one city.
Mm-hmm.
And like before it happened, have just kind of whoever was in that city.
Mm-hmm. But I like the story a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'll give it a 4.5.
All right. So the next one is one I read as well. That is Convergence Speed Force.
Yep.
Not Flash. Speed Force.
Yeah. Flash will be later with Barry Allen. Speed Force is Wally West and his kids.
Wally what? It was interesting to see. That was like the biggest thing, to see Wally West back. Back as, the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like Phil has been saying, like I was extremely caught off guard that it was set in Gotham.
Because there was some sort of anomaly and he went to check it out.
Yeah, and the anomaly, he's stuck in Gotham and then he has no powers. Everybody in the dome lost their abilities while they're in the dome, which will play out more here soon. But, I'm reading this book and man, it gets me really nervous when like he has to go and fight and his kids are there too. But I do love that he's running across the planet and you see a lot of the other cities that he's with.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, not he's with, but like that's there because all the domes are coming down on all the cities on the planet. And then we got the Duck.
Mm-hmm. Fastback.
And it was interesting. But here's what I think. Flashpoint is like the most evilest timeline ever.
Yeah, it seems like in most of these, Flashpoint, somebody from Flashpoint is the villain.
So that just shows you the power of Barry Allen's influence. But wow, it was in Gotham. But I give the book a 4 and the art a 4.5. It was awesome. And it was interesting to see old Wally again after seeing new Wally for a couple of issues in the New 52.
Well, they introduced him, then it seemed like they killed him off real cool.
Yeah, they introduced him, and then he was in a part of that whole blueberry epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
And he was.
Yeah, I'll give the book a 4 also. All right. Did you read Superman?
Did I read Superman? Of course I read Superman.
I figured as much.
I'll just look at my notes. It's funny because this is a repeating theme. Are everyone in Gotham?
Oh.
Because it starts with Superman. It's been a year in their time. He has no powers, but he's still been fighting crime. And Lois has been kind of like his oracle on the computer with a comm.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought it was, why is he in Gotham? And then not Metropolis, and the dome's gone. But then they say something that Clark, Lois, and Jimmy were there for some sort of reporters conference and got stuck when the dome came down. I wasn't sure what timeline this one was. Lois is pregnant with Superman's child, or technically non-powered Clark's child.
Yeah, that's true.
So that could be something interesting. So I'm not sure. I liked it. It was interesting as he flew off and got attacked by Shazam.
Captain Thunder.
Because he's from the Flashpoint timeline again.
Once again.
So I'm just like, come on, man.
Professor Hamilton's there too in Gotham.
It should be just called Gotham Version.
Or why? That's what I'm saying. Why couldn't this one have been in Metropolis? Unless there's a reason that Gotham's in all of them.
I guess we'll find out, but I give the book a 4 and the art 4.5. But I really enjoyed it. But the one thing I'm saying, Phil, is like I'm getting scared.
Yeah.
Because these timelines are written so well. And then you know that only one can survive, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, pregnant Lois with all these kids. And then crazy Superman from the Flashpoint era shows up to see Lois because he remembers her and he doesn't realize she's a different Lois. He's all in her house and Lois is yelling for Clark.
That's just crazy.
He's
This skinny little Superman and he's got all the powers.
Because he's creepy and underdeveloped because of what they did to him.
I mean, he's locked up most of his life. Yeah, I'll give it a 4 also. Bring back Married Superman, please. Please.
I really don't know what I want from my Super Post-Convergence. I do know that I want a Superman Earth 1 Volume 4, though.
Bring his marriage back. Bring his parents back.
The parents is always fun. It's like, anymore, it's like either they're alive or completely dead.
Alright. Next, Convergence, Harley Quinn, number 1. You didn't read this one?
Nope.
Harley's in the middle of a heist when the dome goes up and she basically like cripples a guard's hand. And then in that year, I guess she goes into therapy, gets better, and she's dating the security guard or cop or whoever she kind of maimed his hand.
Interesting.
Say, look here, they're doing it on the couch.
Wow.
I swear that's all they reduce Harley to anymore. She's either getting some or she's thinking about it.
My thing is because the character doesn't really work without the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Because so much of her is dependent on her relationship with the Joker. This really tortured, bad relationship that I brought up. If there's any Flash fans out there, watch the episode of the old Flash. I think that Paul Dini was watching it, saw Mark Hamill as the trickster, like, then saw the prank sidekick and thought, we should make one for the Joker. And that's how Harley came to be. Could be wrong. Love you, Paul Dini. But I just feel like the character just needs to exist with the Joker and be evil and stop being this teeny bopper.
Well, she keeps hallucinating Joker, and it's like old school Joker.
I don't know. I just feel like they need to not try to make her an anti-hero type character. They need to stop trying to...
Well, the dome goes down, and Ivy gets her powers back. She wasn't green until the dome went down. And they inject Harley with something to get her crazy again, because I guess Talos said Harley's the champion, and she has to fight Captain Carrot.
Wow.
So it's not Flashpoint this time.
That's nice, though. I like the cover art.
Mm-hmm.
I like how all the Convergent folks went up $1.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, DC.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.5.
Okay. This is a nice book. Now we have Convergence Batgirl.
And you said you did read that.
I did read this one, but I did get it. But here's the thing. I am a Barbara Gordon fan for Batgirl. I like Barbara. Stephanie Brown's not bad. I like her art here, her arc, but it starts off. I really felt like the way it was written was weird because it starts off with them already out of the dome.
Yeah,
and then it kind of works backwards because I'm reading this like, what's going on? What's chosen? What I miss? And it was interesting that Stephanie Brown as Batgirl was chosen, and she hasn't been doing anything for a while. But then we have now this universe was the regular pre-Flashpoint universe. Because we have Cassandra Cain as Black Bat, and then Tim as Red Robin, and the traditional Red Robin look. And then Catman shows up. And I was like, seriously? I'm like, Catman? Like, why? But it was the cool of her arc, how they get her back out there, even though like in Gotham, she wasn't doing anything but just trying to survive. Once again, Gotham, yes, it's a Batgirl book, but still.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know. I gave it a 3.
Okay, see, I was going to give it a 3.5 because I like the original Stephanie Brown Batgirl series, but I don't know, she seemed too whiny in this one. No, I know they've been trapped in a dome for a year, but still.
I get it, but like I said, I like Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. It's just another one of those characters that in that timeline, like there's been so many Robins, and we're looking at 3 Batgirls, multiple Robins, just a lot going on.
Although if you give Stephanie Brown Batgirl, we can get Barbara Gordon as Oracle.
Yeah, I like her as Oracle, but at the same time, I like her as Batman.
Yeah.
I've got 2 books left.
Yep.
I'll take this one because I know the last one's true to Phil's heart. But it's Batman and Robin #1. This one was cool because it looked like it focused less on the dome. At first, like, this book takes place right before Flashpoint also. Like, because this is like the same where I took it as it's right after Bruce came back. It was Damian and Dick. Where it was Damian as Robin and Batman. So I was trying to figure out what exactly the timeline was for this one.
Yeah, see, I don't know if they were trying to fool us because when they solicited it, all they said was Batman. Because when Damian was working as Robin, Dick was the Batman with the plain bat on his chest.
Yeah.
But in this story, it's Bruce.
Because at first, that's what I took it as was Dick is Batman because we get Scarlet and the Red Hood appear, and it's the Red Hood and Scarlet when they were bad during Grant Morrison's run, when it was Batman and Robin with Dick and Damian. So I got a little confused when it was Bruce, but then I was like, well, Bruce came back and was with Damian for a while, but I couldn't remember what all Jason Todd was going on at the time. So it was a little confusing, but I liked how it was more focused on the characters. But the end is not a Flashpoint villain, but the Extremists.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with him.
I'm not too familiar with them either. The name sounds familiar. I think they might have been old Justice League villains, maybe. Maybe like 90s villains or something.
It was a good book. I gave it a 4, but I did find the timeline odd. And
yeah, I'll give it a 4. But it just seems like take out Scarlet, the Dome, and the Extremists, and this could have been a pre-52 book too.
Yeah.
I mean, or a new 52 book.
Yeah.
Almost.
You have the old Punisher-looking symbol on the Red Hood, Jason Todd, before he started wearing the...
Yeah, that was weird. That was like when Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin, when Dick was still Batman, that's what he had Red Hood wear, and I think in no other stories he wore that, so...
Exactly, and that timeline morphed into, like... Because where was Jason during Battle of the Cow? Was he still, like, a villain?
Well, no, remember during Battle for the Cow, he was a, he tried to take the place of Batman. He had those guns, and he had like, the covered...
I was just trying to remember, because
Dick didn't want to become Batman, but he had to keep Jason from taking it.
When Jason really became the anti-hero. Which, what's funny is, everyone hated him as Robin, but they liked him as Red Hood.
Yeah.
What's funny is Red Hood, just the concept that Red Hood was like, where Joker got an origin. He wasn't the only Red Hood, but still. It is interesting that Jason as Red Hood become like a huge thing.
Well, he used to be like a bloodthirsty, almost insane, and now since the new 52, they kind of,
tone him down.
Oh my god, I don't think we talked about that. What about the end of Batman Eternal? He's like hitting on Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Like, that's Dick's woman, man. As far as he knows, Dick's dead and his body's not even cold yet, man. He's already like...
For real.
I know. I was like, Barbara, you better not.
Jason's just that one guy. It's so hard to figure out. Like, in the New 52 timeline, like, it's such a small window for him to have had.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's why they made Dick older as Robin. Jason was there really short and came back. And then you got Tim as Red Robin, so he really wasn't officially Robin.
Yeah, it seems like
and then Damian was sped up growth so that he could be older than how many years Batman's been active.
It seems like in the New 52, Jason and Tim were like, seems like they only had like a year.
Yeah, like...
If that, because what was it, 5 years?
I think it was, you had the Justice League and then it jumps 5 years forward.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had...
So in 5 years you had Dick, Jason, Tim, and then Damian. So yeah, basically everyone got like a year.
So, but yeah, that's New 52 stuff that we just touch on as we go through. All right, Phil, the Great and Powerful.
All right. Now, last one. This is my book of the week.
Yeah, we got to do that again.
I've been forgetting.
We keep forgetting.
I keep forgetting on my Marvel one too, and I just remembered this week.
So what is this book of the week that you speak of, Phil?
Convergence, Nightwing, and Oracle #1. That's right, DC, listen up. We like Nightwing.
Yeah, not Grayson. I love the character, but I just can't read a James Bond series with Dick Grayson. I want the giant Nightwing symbol. I want him out there fighting in the suit.
Yes.
And the irony is Phil and I are both wearing Nightwing t-shirts right now. If that tells you anything.
No, we're not biased.
I think he's a very important character. Convergence should fix this issue.
But did you see, this one kind of tied into the Speed Force one?
Yeah, because it showed...
Because the Hawks killed, like, the Wild West versions of...
Now, I would like to have seen more of the... I thought the idea of the Justice Riders was really cool. I would like to have seen more of a story with them, with Now, like, the Hawks are always one of those characters that are hard to discuss because you have them as straight aliens from Thanagar, and then you have, like, what do you call it, the more Egyptian-based, where they were reborn, and then you have kind of that blended where Thanagarian is where we got Egyptian culture. So I don't know, like, it's so difficult to pick out where the Hawks come from, but man, were they just villainous.
Well, they're Flashpoint once again.
I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't 100%. See, Barry Allen's the most crucial character in DC. Without Barry, there wouldn't have been Flashpoint, and we wouldn't have seen how much of a dick everyone could be.
Mm-hmm. And I love this scene at the museum. Nightwing's about to go through the skylight. She's like, no.
What'd she say about, I'll bill it, or something, I'll set up what the bill's going to be, or...
Yeah, I'm getting a replacement bill for the skylight. The museum spent a fortune on it.
You could have just, like, slipped in.
Well, I guess, yeah. Well, he goes through the window. He breaks the window instead of the skylight. It's like, well, I'm sure the skylight's a little more expensive, but still, you're breaking the window.
Like I said, it was cool, seeing Oracle and Dick back in action together. Seeing them fight together was awesome, as much as possible. I mean, I love seeing Nightwing in action.
We even get Starfire, too.
Yeah, that was a cool little quick thing with her. I liked his suit in this. I'm very torn, Phil, between... I like the New 52 Nightwing costume, like with the red and being more sleek, and the gauntlets. And then you have, like, this look where it's back to the blue. I'm not sure which one I like more. I do like more than just, like, the bird symbol, like how it spreads out more. With that note, I do find it funny that when they've done the New 52-based films with Batman and Son and the upcoming Batman vs. Robin, they went back to that traditional blue bird Nightwing and not his New 52 look, which is very interesting, considering those films are supposed to be based off New 52.
Exactly.
And the fact that basically Chris O'Donnell's Robin and Batman and Robin is New 52 Robin, Nightwing, without a...
I don't know about this Nightwing costume in this one. I mean, he's supposed to be an acrobat, but it looked kind of pretty armored.
Yeah, it looks very... But, I mean, we don't know what it's been like in the Dome.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's put in more work and been busy, because there's no mention of Batman.
Once again, they're Gotham and they're Batman.
So, when do you think this took place? Which city is this from?
Wasn't this supposed to be Gotham?
It is Gotham.
Yeah.
Like everything else is Gotham.
Yeah, it's in Gotham City. This is probably something we haven't seen, because in the back it says about Dick being Batman, so maybe this is like an unseen point, like where he went back to being Nightwing, kind of right before New 52. But...
Yeah, because we had, Black Mask was the last Dick story as Batman before Bruce is back, and then...
Well, he was still in the Batman suit until New 52.
Right, because the opening page of Nightwing issue 1 is talking about him, how happy he is to be back as being Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another pre-New 52. Or pre-Flashpoint. So does it intersect? I don't know. I'll tell you. Let's talk about that. Dick proposed to Barbara.
She turned him down.
She said she couldn't. What?
This is the second time he's proposed to her.
She just needs to admit.
He proposed the first time right before was it Infinite Crisis, when they were going to kill him off.
I'm really excited for the second issue of this one right here. What's going to happen?
Yeah, because she said, I guess the Hawks were monitoring her.
Yeah.
So she couldn't tell Dick she had a plan, but she had some...
She said she started fighting them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
She's like, I'm Oracle. I started fighting them 10 minutes ago.
And the Hawks on this don't want to destroy it, fight them. They want to rule the city and rebuild Thanagar with them as the rulers.
Oh, yeah. They said they'd let them live. And they're like,
under their rule. So that's definitely a different approach. What do you give this book?
Oh, 5.
All right, I was going to go 4.5, but you persuaded me to 5. I do not like the cover art, though. The art in the book is great. I give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
But there was an alternate cover to this, but I wanted more of the regular cover styles.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not like the cover art.
I don't know who did this cover. I see a signature, but I can't read it. I think it starts with a J, but that's about all I can read.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the cover art. It's not horrible, but once you open the book, you're like, oh, hey, this is better.
But I think it's safe to say that's both of our book of the week.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you
Number 2 would be Superman, but number 1 is definitely... And we didn't talk about, in one of the books, one of those Gotham books, where Ivy, was it in Batman and Robin, where Ivy was running the garden, or was feeding everybody in Gotham, because they couldn't grow food, but Ivy could. So I thought that was cool, because it seemed like she didn't lose her power in that one.
It's kind of weird. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I swear there was another one where they said something. Maybe it's the Harley Quinn one, but there was another story, I swear, under a different dome in a different city where Ivy was growing the food. It's just like that.
I mean, she would. And, like, here's my one thing, Phil, I'll throw out. I want my villains to be villains. I think the Joker is the only villain anymore that's a villain. Everyone else, they start to sway to this anti-hero. They do good things, but then they're, like, just villains of a circumstance. I think that's why the Joker gets, like, hailed higher esteem, because he's, like, the only villain. Him and Darkseid. Him and Darkseid just want to kill everybody.
Well, that's like last week I told you in the Batwoman annual, Clayface was all acting a hero with Batwoman and
Just like
the team she had.
You know, we've had Harley's, like, we don't even know what she is. Catwoman's always been the anti-hero, good, bad, and that worked for her character, but I don't want to see that with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Because they know all the Bat stuff sells.
It does. But it was a good week, in DC Comics. A lot of stuff going on with Convergence.
So is that it then?
That's it for now.
Alright, well, guess what, everyone? More big news. We are now on Facebook.
What? Yeah, we are. World's Finest on Facebook. Find us, friend us, drop us a line, yell at us, talk to us. Give us your thoughts and opinions on what books you read and like.
The easiest way, just go facebook.com/World's Finest Podcast and give us a like.
And if you haven't heard, there's the upcoming Supergirl TV series. And I have a new podcast I started called The Last Daughter of Krypton. You can find on Southgate Media, also on Twitter at Last Daughter Pod. We're up to, I think, 4 episodes have aired. We have some already recorded ready to go. And of course, you can always find me and Phil at Before the Bat, Flash Arrow Power Hour, and wherever else we might pop up on Southgate for DC. We don't mention the other one here on this podcast, but we all know that Phil has his other podcast too.
Yeah, some Marvel stuff.
Some what? Some timely stuff?
all new Marvel Roundup, which is a Marvel Comics review, and Super Connectivity with Charlie.
So check those out too. Always keep reading.
And you can always ask us personal questions. Like you can email me at nightwingpdp@gmail.com, and on Twitter I'm at nightwingpdp.
And I'm at jtypatrick. And yes, you can find me at jtypatrick@gmail.com as well. And yeah, just let us know what you think. The cast.
So come back next week. More Convergence, which you'll be hearing for 7 more weeks?
7 more weeks of Convergence, which I'm glad it's weekly. They're doing it instead of monthly books.
Oh yeah, their main Convergence book is every week.
So just like how they stretched out Forever Evil
and Future's End.
The Future's End is going to tie into a Convergence story, so that's going to pay off more, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see where the road takes us. I don't even know what comes out next week. But all I know is that the last week of this month, we get the end of Batman Endgame.
That's
right. And the end of Superman before Convergence, which sucks. They pushed those out because every other book wrapped up before Convergence started. So then, we're going to take a jump back here in 2 weeks to the last 2 stories of the New 52 era.
That's true. So we'll have at least 2 books this month that are Convergence.
But you guys enjoy. This has probably been a longer episode, but that's what you get with Convergence.
And us in the same room.
And yeah, this could be a lot longer of a discussion. We have to spend the rest of it all day today talking about stuff. Should just recorded and broadcasted live.
Yeah, that's true. Alright. Until next week, I am Phil, your Batman.
And I am Tyler, your Superman.
Come back.
Stay classy, Cindy.
Convergence is here.